right, you hear me, right?
I can. Let me give just a second. I need to change this.
All right.
Why is this not? Oh, of course it's not gonna work because I haven't. Hold on a second.
Yeah, you're good, brother. I got music playing. We're good.
Too many cables down here. I need to improve my cable management.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm still setting up my new place, so please disregard any mess. There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Still trying to find a good position. Lights are not ideal as well. So
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like the black. I like the background. The background. The couch and the light. The window. It looks great already.
What I found, this room is not white.
Get in there, analyst, and close the door.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're going. We got music in the background, pretty loud though. We're just now getting started. We'll see if he's up. I don't know if you've seen it, but I put together a quick little simple here. Yeah. So, all right, analyst. Just so you know, you've only got. I'm gonna read it here. I'm like before I move it over to you. You've got just chatting 2, just chatting, and be right back. That's it. That's the only 3 scenes we're gonna be playing with. We had it just starting, but I already used it. So I'm moving it over to you. Got 2 or 3 simple scenes. Make sure you check your headphones, check the sound, do all the good stuff. All right, nice. Dude, this is actually perfect because if you look at the stream, my camera is overlaying your camera, but it's overlaying it in the part where my webcam is, so you don't even see it. Right? It's just like a perfect cover over. So
I am checking the stream.
Yeah, you like it? It's very simple. Keep it super simple. Here, I'll send you a Chrome tab. All right. Okay. All right.
So, with that ninja video, what's going to happen is that you don't. I don't know, but from your OBS, I can share my camera straight to your OBS. Then you don't have to go to Chrome. You don't have to share.
Okay, so it can be like its own source. Yeah. So
it's a P2P, like meaning it goes directly from my computer to yours.
Yeah, and I don't. So I wonder how we would do that in this scenario because we'd probably have to all 3 do it. Because I wouldn't. Yeah, it would be very interesting because I'm sending your video and my camera over to the stream. And so if I'm joining from here, I'm trying to think like yeah, because we could pick your source straight up from. Yeah, we'll have to think about it. It's a very interesting dynamic, but I definitely want to try. Yeah. I want to try doing it.
Awesome, man. Let me start.
Start with the points. Starts with the points.
You know, in Brazil, we have an expression. Whenever we are starting to drink, we say, "Let's start the job."
It's like a job itself, huh?
Yeah, people get it very seriously in Brazil. But I was longing for this for the whole week.
Okay.
You know how moving is difficult, right?
Oh, so, dude, yes.
There's the pre-movie, there's the actual movie, there is the post-movie.
Cheers, brother.
And by the way, I'm drinking the same old steam whistle.
Nice. And I'm going manly as always. Look, I'm starting it off with a White Claw. Oh, but hey, man, this is Surge. It's extra strong seltzer.
I cannot express myself in the way that I would like to because we are live. Otherwise,
You save it for the next time we're in person together. Right?
Yeah.
We'll do it like that.
But anyway, I was talking to you about the moving, right? So
yeah,
you know that very well. So pre, during, and post. And this is something very interesting that I actually want to talk. I actually made some notes that I wanted to share this because I was diagnosed with ADHD, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it bugged me for a long, long time. And I remember a few years ago, my wife and I had to move, and I made such a mess because I was so, man, I was out of myself, to be honest. Several months earlier, before the actual movie, I already started packing,
Yeah.
selling stuff. So I would see, I don't know, treadmill. Oh, we don't need this anymore. Let's sell it. So I would just sell on marketplace.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, let's pack this shelf here. We don't need this anymore. So what happened was it was chaotic because I would start something here. So I have this shelf here, right?
Yeah.
I would start packing this shelf, and then I would see a book, and then I would thought, oh, but wait a second, I have some other books in the living room. So I would leave a mess here, and then I would go to the living room. I would start packing some other stuff, and then in the middle of the, I was doing another mess over there.
Yeah.
And I would remind myself, oh, but wait a second, there's this other thing in my garage. So I would go to the garage. So it was a cycle. When I noticed, when I realized the whole house was a mess because I would start doing stuff here, there, and that, and that, and there, and I wouldn't finish anything.
That's so funny.
I couldn't finish. So my wife was very patient, and she helped me to notice that, right?
Like clean it up. Like, man, I couldn't.
No,
actually, you answered my question. I thought, like, you imagine like a cyclone kind of spinning, but it's still a funnel, right? So I thought, like, maybe if you made enough rotations, then eventually you'd get you'd get cleaned up. No, so no, it doesn't.
No. So
just a big mess.
It just gets worse. But the point that I want to say is, okay, I knew that I had this issue, right? So
yeah.
Slowly I started to work on myself. During
Mo
the
can
pandemic,
relate.
during the pandemic was a time that I spent a lot of myself. So I kind of had time to work this kind of issues.
Yeah.
So, for example, I don't like windows. Actually, I do like windows, but when I'm working, I don't like them because they distract me a lot.
It's a bird.
Right? So
bird.
I started to notice these small things that I could do. But anyway, in this moving that we just did, I was so amazed with myself, to be very honest, because I could go to one room and start, and we actually started 1 week before.
Okay, so yeah, that's a plan.
Up to we set that as a goal. We don't want to do anything before 1 week.
Okay,
like what we're gonna leave 1 week to pack, do the moving, and then unpack. So 1 week before the actual date, we started packing, and I could go to a room, whatever room, get started, finish, and leave the room like without doing any mess.
I could never. So you're actually you're able to do it now.
I am able to do that, and it's actually such a relief, because that kind of behavior would bug me, would bother me a lot. Because there's this feeling of, oh my God, but I can't. You feel helpless.
Like you can't. Like you have no power even over your own.
Exactly.
Like the way you do anything.
Yeah, you don't own your own domain, so it was so hard. But man, I'm so happy now that this kind of things and it was very funny because now my daughter is 12.
Yeah,
and we were asking her to help us, and she also has ADHD. She was doing exactly the same thing I used to do. So we would ask her, "Can you pack just your table?" She would start
It's
packing her
genetics.
table.
It's genetics.
Yeah, and then 5 minutes later, she would go somewhere, start doing something else.
Man, now she needs the chat. So she
Yeah.
doesn't get to be an adult with the same habits. I agree, right? I can't, all those moves driving me crazy, right? I feel like I can't operate if it's me packing. I get frustrated. Right? I'll get frustrated. What's even more frustrating than the packing, I feel like, right, is actually the unpacking. I have boxes I feel that haven't been unpacked since like '03. Like they've like every single move just like slowly, it's like a box never
Then
gets unpacked.
why do you have them?
Yeah, very true. Very true. I need to do like you did and start selling stuff. I don't know who else in here has the same problem where they just like I can't. It's very hard for me to focus. And some of that stuff is genetic. I have this horrible habit, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I Googled it once and I got on Wikipedia. I thought I was smart, called onychiophagia. I like eat my fingers until they bleed on my cuticles. Like I can't. It does. And my wife's always made fun of me. And here my 3-year-old came in just the other day and he's like, Papa, look. And his thumbnail is like half ripped off and half like chewed off. And like he chews on it like I did. And I was like, I think that some of this stuff is genetic, right? But I got to like tell him, you do it too. Yeah, I know. Like Dixie's like, don't do that. Like she's like almost a germaphobe, borderline germaphobe. And she see like, you can imagine her, her kid like chewing on his fingernails. So I've never, some habits, I don't know how you got past your like being able to focus on the task at hand and get it done. But yeah, that's definitely difficult. Look, my wife even brought me back, and at least she doesn't hate me for my son eating his toenails because she brought me a drink.
Oh man, I bite my nails, not to a point where it's gonna bleed. I used to say to my wife that I don't like to waste time cutting, so I just bite.
That's a great excuse, right? I love that one.
Yeah. But everybody has these small habits, right? My wife, she scratches her leg,
Oh yeah.
She likes to hear that noise on the clothing, right? So especially like jeans, when she scratches, like makes a noise that she likes. But my daughter and I, we don't like that noise. So
who in the chat who has in the chat? What do you guys got? Any weird things that you enjoy? I know there's got to be some. I know there's got to be something that you guys, it's like a weird habit. I think it's just common nature, right? There's so many flaws. I think it's natural. Now's the time, right? People accept all that stuff. People think it's cool to have, individual quirks and stuff. I definitely try to like.
Yeah, and so many. Probably I'm going to lack in vocabulary to express this, but not. It's behaviors, right?
Yeah.
Everything is behavior, but some. No, just leave it that.
We haven't had enough drinks. Hey, I want to dive in though, right? I'm going to grab out my Excel. We talked about this. We wanted to have some structure and some form, right? So one of the things that was been brought up quite a few times. What is this? Is the job market, right? So I've been tracking job trends over the last 2 weeks, and this is something I'm going to continue to do. And you and I will discuss it, right? I want to start tracking trends just in automation opportunities. So week on week. What we're seeing is compared to the last time we had this conversation, I gave you the numbers. Last time that we'd had this conversation, I pull these job postings every week. Every single week, I'll go in and I'll get a snapshot of what the jobs look like for the last week and what the jobs look like in the last 24 hours, right? Because I want to kind of see what rotations happen. And so for the new jobs that were posted for process automation, like when I search for process automation on LinkedIn, when we talked previously, there were 5,000 new opportunities for that week. It's been 2 weeks since we had the podcast, but there were only 3,000 new postings for the last 7 days.
Is it in the US only?
I do a global search. I don't put any filters on. The only thing that I do is type in the word, right, and search, which I think even those numbers are in flux, right? Even though it went down from 5K to 3K over the last 2 weeks, a lot of that's like you'll see jobs in there for weird automation that have nothing to do with process automation, right? It'll just be like automation. So I think that the numbers are much lower, and I'll probably do some research. But if I look just for RPA, right? If I type just RPA jobs, the postings are miserable, right? When we talked, there were only 45 new postings in the last week for RPA. Last week, there were only 31. So a dip in over 10 to 12 jobs. There are actually more jobs. If you type in UiPath than RPA, you'll find more openings for them. But it's weird because some of those were spots opening at UiPath specifically, right? So what do you think? Doesn't seem to be a lot of change in the job space. Have you seen anything interesting on LinkedIn through your research?
Yeah, not on the latest weeks, but I agree with you, and I feel that the market. This is my personal feeling, right? But it seems to me that the market, the market is kind of pivoting from RPA, core RPA to automation, right?
Oh, dude, you're teeing me up for our. We haven't talked. This is completely on progress, but you're teeing me up for our segue. So I love it. Continue. Exciting.
Yeah.
Continue.
Because I've been monitoring UiPath. Our automation roles, but specifically UiPath, right, for quite a while. So I have several alerts, and I specifically look for UiPath most of the time.
Yep.
And I remember last year, like getting hundreds and hundreds of positions, like every week on LinkedIn, on popping up on my emails,
for sure,
alerts for developers most of the time.
Yep.
But lately, this year, like, it's going like in a downhill. It's in a valley.
Mm-hmm.
It's down. It's really down lately. But when you just said, like, if we search for automation, like the automation itself, like it seems to have a pretty fair number, right?
Yeah.
So,
but that's sort of. Yeah, that's sort of been the case, though, right? It's always been, nobody knew what to call these. Like when companies were looking for people to hire, right? You know how it is when a company goes through a hiring process. You have to have like a title. There needs to be a requirement for a position. And for all of the years that I can remember, it's always been weird, right? It was RPA engineer, bot engineer, process automation. It's definitely been a lack of consistency. And I think that plays into this. So I don't know if you've heard this, something that just came out recently. I saw in the last 2 or 3 days. So do you know what they're called? It's no longer RPA anymore. It's no longer RPA. Do you have any idea what the new acronym for that encompasses all of RPA plus even some of the tools?
Is that related to the agentic?
That's even encompassed in this. It's encompassed in this. Yeah.
Really?
I'm gonna pop it up. I'm gonna pop it up for the stream to see. So you're not gonna see it at first, and I wanna see what their thoughts are, and I'm gonna see if they're ready to hop on. So here's the actual picture that I saw online that kind of represents it. So this is the new.
I am watching the stream as well because I want to see it.
So any guesses? Do you have any ideas what it's called?
Man, you are making me anxious.
It's called BOAT. BOAT.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I've seen that in some posts, but I don't remember what does that mean.
Well, don't worry, because that's why people tune into this podcast. And not only do they get to hear the new stuff, but they get to actually see. So BOAT stands for Business Orchestration and Automation. And technology, what I call in technology. So Business Orchestration and Automation Technologies, BOAT. And there's some pretty cool. They actually have interesting. I just saw this a couple hours ago, actually, but they actually have this new sort of, I don't even know what you call it, a new diagram. Gartner put this out, and it kind of illustrates both RPA plus agents, right? Future of AI agents encompassed in this, but then how does it carry with certain technologies, right?
Yeah.
So the new acronym is no longer, you know how many ways we went through? It was like RPA first, and then it was like intelligent automation, then it was hyper automation, and then it was, bullshit on top of poop stains and whatever they wanted to call it, right? It's whatever. Sorry, we got a little crazy. It's all in the slushy. But I think it's funny, like boat, hey, I don't hate it. There needed to be a term to bring all this nonsense together.
It's kind of cheesy, isn't it?
It's cheesy, but so polished. He's called it a polished turd. Boat is the worst one. Most said boat's the worst acronym that we've had yet, right?
Yeah. I'm just reminded. I remember, like, I was on LinkedIn this week, and now now it makes sense. I saw a picture. The movie Jaws, right?
Yeah.
So do you remember that scene that the guy, when the shark actually shows up the first time,
he's chumming the water?
They are on the boat.
He's throwing the chum over. Yeah, he's chumming it. Yeah.
He backs it up and then look to the other guy. We're going to need a bigger boat.
We're gonna need a bigger boat. Yeah, I know, right? Dude, I can't wait. The memes are gonna be rolling. Like that one I just showed, if you go back and see it on the thing, I thought it was pretty funny. I don't even want to think about it. It was ridiculous. But boat. I don't hate it, but I'm kind of in the same. I can't even say it. I was about to say I'm in the same boat as Mo, but that just sounds stupid. I can't even say it. Yeah, I am on this. I'm on board. It's probably the worst one, but that's like, it's like nicknames though, right? You never get to pick your nickname, right? You don't get to pick your nickname. Someone else does.
Yeah. You know what I feel? This is getting like Java, right? Back in the day, we already talked this a couple of times. Back in the day, we used to be like Java developers. That was it, right?
Yeah.
Core Java, we would create amazing stuff, like that was awesome. And then people started to create different variations and frameworks, and framework for this, framework for that, framework for that other thing. And all of a sudden we had like dozens, like hundreds of frameworks for specific stuff.
Yeah.
Right? If we want to create an app for mobile, we use this Java, that Java.
Yeah.
So
true.
You are no longer a Java developer. You are like this framework developer, that other framework developer, or business analyst, or whatever specialist, right? In that area. And automation seems, my take on this, like humble and unimpressive opinion.
Like, I like your opinion, Joe. You go for it.
My take on this is that automation seems to be leaning towards that way, right?
Yeah.
Where we have so many things and like for this and that other thing.
Yeah.
And they just keep piling up, stacking new features, new tools, new capabilities. And wow, it's just hard to keep it up with the trends.
Yeah. I thought the same thing when UiPath started branching out with all of the different products, right? I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with every single product, right? And there's no, I got to kind of pick one. And I see them leaning heavily into a studio, right? Because I feel like their web solution is something that they continue to say is sort of front facing, and they're going to push changes there first and then trickle out everywhere else. So, I feel like this, since we're kind of talking about it too, I might as well go ahead and drop the announcement, right? When I had one announcement I wanted to make on the chat, and that there's only like 2 people that even are aware of this, and you're one of them because you're a close friend and I let you know. But I'll be posting about this on LinkedIn next week. But I happened to get an opportunity, and I was picked up to speak at UiPath Forward in Vegas this year. So not just for one portion. Appreciate it, Joe. Appreciate it. One for the Tech Forward Day, the tech portion, Tech Ed, and then also for the customer journey portion. So I'm excited, and part of the reason I let Joe know is because my session is about the death of RPA, right? And even though I'm doing it as a joke on that term, I think boat's a perfect example, right? I could make a joke about boat, what killed RPA? The boat killed RPA.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. was struck by a bolt.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have GPT make me a video of that. So
Yeah.
definitely.
If you use this expression, I will charge you copyright.
Right. I have my 3-year-old trying to do his best Jack Nicholson Shining impression over here on my office door. You know, I think my wife, she might have fell asleep because she was up late working yesterday.
Really?
The life of a army officer. I tell you what, dude, I don't miss the military days. But Joe, so we gotta identify some people that we want to try to bring on the show, right? We already know one. I think number one on our list, you and I both agree, is George, right? We want to speak with George.
Yes.
He just recently, if you're not aware, George Roth is the godfather of document understanding. He basically helped assist UiPath's ascendance into dominating the space, in my personal opinion, I believe, because they acquired his DU technology. He gave us a great breakdown in that history, Joe, right? In Seattle, he talked about where the company was, and he even he got down into the nitty gritty and explained taxonomy and like the architecture and what models worked and didn't work back then. So he was running the company that UiPath acquired, and then now it's their DU product, and now with obviously DocPath, it's evolved into something completely different. But I think he's a pioneer in the space. I don't think he'll ever leave this space, and I definitely think when it comes to if RPA is dead and AI is the new topic, if there's anybody who might have some insights, it would be him, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
yeah. He's so like full of knowledge,
man.
like
right?
He is the kind of guy, when he opens up his mouth, you just shut up and listen, right?
Yeah, he does. You do.
That's the best thing you can do when he's around. Just shut up and listen what he has to say, because for sure you're going to be learning something. He is the kind of guy that deserves all the respect.
Yeah, maybe even more.
Yeah, because what he did, it was not ordinary. Like, was something really outstanding.
Yeah.
I really like his session was by far the best. Like the best for me, the best in the summit.
I think so. Because he not only did you understand sort of, there's nobody that can bring the level of context and awareness around what's going on like he can. And there's one thing that I've learned throughout my career and working in high tech, right? Even I think in the military kind of teaches you this, is that if you want to understand if a person is an expert in a certain field or a certain topic, just listen to them explain it, right? If you're not able to explain it to where anybody can understand it, then you're not an expert in that field, right? You don't know it well enough to be able to break it down to somebody without any knowledge can understand. And he has this way of sort of like storytelling and like being able to explain it. And I see you had a thought. So what were you thinking?
Yeah, I kind of disagree with you. Respectfully.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I love it. Let me hear it.
See, knowledge, having knowledge is different than sharing knowledge. Like, many people have the awesome skill set of storytelling and sharing knowledge.
Yeah.
Many people are able to translate extremely complex topics to lame, verbiage that everybody can learn. But not everybody, even though they are highly skilled and technical or intelligent or smart, whatever, not everybody will be able to share the knowledge to lame person. And I have a funny story. Like, I used to work with a guy, and he was the smartest guy in the room, but he was the toughest guy to work with because he didn't have the patience to explain. So I would ask him, but I'm a humble guy. Like, if I have to ask, I ask twice, right? So I would ask him, "Oh, how can I do this?" He would, just look at me, like, make the face, and I would just say, "Man, listen, it's me. I am a stupid guy. Just explain to a child, and
Yeah,
then we're
yeah, yeah,
done.
yeah. Yeah, no,
Right.
so hey, there's I think that it's one of those things where I think we both agree, but sort of maybe our definitions and terms kind of make us have intersecting thoughts here. But the reason that I high performance, low trust classic, right? No, I understand, dude, because there is somebody who, and I'll say this, right? He still, even today, he probably come in here and whoop my ass, right? This dude is a beast, right? He probably should have played like D1 football. His name is TJ. I'm not going to give any more than that because I love and respect this. He's like my brother, cable toe, if you understand what that terminology means. So anyway, he was the same way. I worked in technology. I worked in tech in the Army, just like I did now, and we work with like Cisco servers, setting up networks, all sorts of cool shit. But anyway, there is this guy named TJ, and dude, he was brilliant. The guy could open up servers, set up networks, troubleshoot any kind of problem, and he was amazing at what he did. But the problem is in the military with these technical teams, right? When you kind of get deployed or in these different situations, you're talking about like a 5-man team, right? It's very tiny, and like if you don't have the knowledge to get it done on that team, like you're just done. Like if something happens and you're in the middle of Kuwait in the desert, and your brains like you're not intelligent enough, you're not experienced enough to keep your systems up. Like you're like trying to figure out what, like you're just done, right? You're of no use. And so this guy was brilliant, just like what you were saying, incredibly smart, knew everything, and he was able to leverage that as power, right? If you're familiar with Benjamin Green's 50 or 48 laws of power, excuse me, like he understood that the knowledge in this aspect was a certain sense of power, and like if things broke down, like even the leadership, even though there's ranks and structures like sergeants and everything in the military, like they would be scared and they would go and ask this guy for help, right? Hey, it's breaking, I can't fix it. How would you do it? And he would be able to just leverage this, right? He knew that he had he was the smartest guy in the room, but he would kind of act that way though. I remember joining the team and like being just amazed at how brilliant he was, and then realizing though, when kind of getting situations, like if you ask for help, it was the same way. He'd give you like you don't know this, okay, let me explain. Let me explain this to you. Yeah. I was like, did you? This is like training. This is basic, like But at the same aspect, like you'd be like, oh, please teach me. But then, like to watch the guy work though, like when I remember like being in the middle of like Arif John in Kuwait, and like something happened, and the system was going down, and we had Predator drone feeds. So you're talking about like people with Predator drones flying in the war zone, and we had a relay system, and like the system went down, and they got him up, and he came in, and it's just like. I sort of imagined it like Snowden when he's like in the zone and he's on his keyboard, just like, and the numbers are flying and like you're just seeing him. He's in the code, tool command line if you're familiar. Yeah, it's like, and then like things would just fix. Like he just fix it, but I think he was good at it, and he knew that some of that knowledge was power as well, and so he wouldn't tell you how he fixed it. Like I don't know what happened. I just I checked something and it fixed. But yeah, I get it. There are people like that. It takes there's one thing to be intelligent, right? There's one thing to be intelligent, and there's another have the skill set to be able to share that knowledge with others. Right? I think that's kind of what we were getting at there too.
Yeah, sharing knowledge. Do you
have a lot of that? Like how good obviously, let's not talk about our current orgs. Right, yeah. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But from your experience, historically, have orgs been good at transferring knowledge to you when you get there? They haven't for me. I show up to orgs, most of the time they kind of expect you to have skills and they kind of expect you to have experience and operate. They might try to do a little bit of onboarding, but most orgs that I've been to, they make you, it's on you to go out and get knowledge and like really figure it out for a majority of it. Like what the business does, how do they operate, what are the departments, what how does this even work? Like what is that like from your experience?
Well, I was very fortunate many times, but definitely getting to a new team where when you don't know anybody, like it's hard. Like
Yeah.
most of my career in Brazil, like actually, besides my first job, I always had someone that I knew, right? So when you create your network, like you go to places where you know people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when you know people, it's easier, right?
Hmm.
You just ask for help, they will help, they are your friends,
Yeah.
right? So there were times that the entire team, because we were outsourced, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So we were working for a major bank in Brazil, but we were like 10, 20 people. This company would lose a contract, the other company would get a contract, everybody would just shift, right? So
Oh,
then,
really? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
there was
Yep.
no knowledge transfer. We were just,
Mm.
changing contractors. Um, so in Brazil, that was it. Like I always knew someone, and I didn't have any problems. But see, always hearing problems, other folks having issues with knowledge transfers
Yep.
and this and that. When I got here, like I experienced that, right? I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends, and getting to a place where I don't know what I'm gonna do and I don't know
Mm.
anybody,
Hmm.
extremely difficult,
Yeah.
because then you cannot rely on people anymore,
Mm.
right?
Mm. Yeah. That's
You
very true.
There's just so much they may share with you, so it's up to you to go after the knowledge.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
but it's
I.
probably not everywhere like this, right?
Yeah.
But I had to, but luckily I am a self-taught guy in many
Mm.
different ways.
Yep.
And I don't just sit around and wait for stuff to come towards me, right?
Yep.
So I go after it.
I love it. You get me pumped up when you say it, dude. Sorry. I like that mentality. It's probably why you and I connected and why we're doing this
Yeah,
thing, right? Because like, we have to, right? We have to go after it. Sorry.
yeah,
Continue.
exactly.
You're getting me
Well,
pumped up.
so one small thing that I can share.
Hmm.
So the first job that I was here, I didn't know this. I didn't like it was in an area that I knew the roughly the business as a whole, but I didn't know the specifics of each system because, like, if and you work for beverages, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Spirits, beverages,
Yep.
beers,
Hmm.
whatever. You work for company X. When you go to company Y, it's totally different. The business is the same, but the tools, the systems, the legacy, the database,
Yeah.
everything's different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I I got to this position and I didn't know anything, but I had access to the database.
Hmm.
And,
Right.
and I am a data guy. I am a
Yeah.
SQL. I know SQL very well. I don't
Oh,
know the
beautiful.
latest trends,
Beautiful.
right?
No,
I
still. Do you need
but
them nowadays? I
no,
don't think.
not
Yeah.
right now. But
Yeah.
I know SQL very well. I can get out of troubles very easily if I get access to the data.
Yeah.
So I would just dig in very deep to the database, get the schemas, tables, and everything, and I learned the system from downwards,
Yep.
from the ground up, right? So
Hmm.
I saw how the data was structured, so then I could understand the system,
Yeah. Yep.
and that's
Dude,
how
that's
I learned.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Like, I think that if people understood just like organizations run on data, period, right?
Yeah.
And I even thought about the same thing at the very first RPA program that I was at USAA. I was like, dude, we're doing all of this stuff and we're automating it. And you and I talked last time about theory of constraints, right? Like how, any improvements or efficiencies made that aren't to the whole are just an illusion, right? It's not actually like improving end to end. But I think that one of the things is, as soon as I started thinking about from that mindset, I was like, dude, why don't we put bots all on the front end, right? Where all the data comes in from emails, from mail. They still have plenty of physical mail that gets mailed in. And I thought that was like, hey, being able to understand the data, understand what everything comes through the business, you can understand a lot about the business, right? Like you said. And that's so crazy too. Like you're so right. And that's why I always thought when I used to hear companies, and this is coming from my consultancy experience. I've helped startups, right? I've launched startups. I've been a co-founder. I've helped consulting practices grow their practice, right? And so this comes from just awareness and working in that domain. And one of the things that I've heard, more than once are always like these pre-built solutions. I'm going to go build a industry solution for retail. And I'm just thinking like, I understand this, but like, to me, it's just like batshit crazy. It's just like, there's no other way to say it. Like, bro, I'm like, because it's, the knowledge is exactly what you say it is. I don't care if you're talking about Target, Walmart, HEB, whatever retail you're going to pick. Like, even if I'm taking the exact same type of business model, the company A, B, C, all the way to Z, all of them are going to be using software in a different capacity. Even if every single one of them use SAP, they're all going to be using different functionality. They'll have different custom Z codes built. Some people will have Ariba. Some people will have all these different applications. So I get crazy when I hear them say like, "Oh, custom build solutions." Like, yeah, we're going to build something I'm like, dude, that's bullshit. It's not going to work. You're going to spend 10, 12 months building something, and then in 2 months it's going to be obsolete. Or at a minimum, there's going to be something that you could have built better. So when I hear like the thought of like pre-built solutions with technology, like I think it's just a pretty big waste as fast as the market moves. But everything else you said as far as data and what you can learn from it and stuff like that, I love that. Any rebuttal, sir? Do you think I'm crazy?
I'm trying to digest what you were saying. Like, pre-built solutions are a waste. It depends. Like, we can't put a like such a definitive like statement, like strong statement saying, because in some cases, right, they will fit the purpose.
Oh,
it always depends on the purpose. And if there was no purpose for them, they wouldn't exist, right? Companies are not just find ways to waste money. They want to.
No, but what I understand what you're saying, right? I don't think that there's any organizations. Obviously, no people make it into a company that's making millions of dollars or dozens of employees. If you understand business, then you understand what it takes to run a company of any size, right? And headcount and how much money it requires. And I don't think that any organization does this in error and fall, and there's any probably bad decision making happening. But my point is that I feel that it is a waste because of my longevity in the market and seeing what happens over the long term, right? I know if you think about how many different releases UiPath has had, and let's just say the last 36 months, so that's 3 years, 36 months, the platform has changed so much. If I built anything 36 months ago, I know for a fact it's not going to be the best solution that I could have today. And even if I can build something, like you understand from an architectural perspective what it takes to build a bot, how much code it does, drag and drop, the interface, all of that. The amount of effort to take my thing that I've kind of built and to mold it to your infrastructure and your environment and your user interface, I could probably just build it just as quick. I could probably just build it just as quick as I could try to modify it. And so I think that the companies, they don't build these things thinking that they'll be wasteful. I think that they build them with the intent that I can pitch this as a marketing, it's sales material. Here, I got a pre-built solution for you. Let me get your business. At the end of the day, though, they're not going to use that. They're going to still probably build from scratch. They might use maybe part of their library, but I mean, you've been in the consulting space. How many times you showed up for client C and said, "Hey, here, I'm going to build you this RPA bot. Let me go to my GitHub and grab this thing, and I'm going to use it in your system." I've never seen it.
and they want a custom solution.
Yeah, everything's got to be
Hey.
custom.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, the value is not as high as. Okay, 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Pause.
because we had the drinks. So go to the let's go to there is a just starting one that gives us a little 5-minute one. I'm an old man, my bladder, the drinks done. So we'll go to just chatting. Just a stream starting, and then we'll be right back. Gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay.
But I will put some music on though. How's the sound been? Good? Sweet. I see you over there bopping.
I am listening to the streaming. I like the song.
I love it too, man. I love this track. It's gonna be consistent. You're gonna hear this one in the videos when I do the YouTube videos. It's gonna be one of my themes. I have one of the teams. I like the style.
Man, and I have to tell, I was watching our video today. Seriously, like I was talking to my wife. So I know it's still amateur, right?
Yeah.
I know you are not a professional, but man, I can see how much work, how much effort, how much time you put into this video. Like it's clear, like you thought and I when you release the first the
montage,
spoiler, the first montage. And I would see like the videos, like the one you on the apple trees, like with the white shirt, and then some other ones. And now on this episode that you launched, I saw that. Oh, now I see. So I made a connection.
Yeah.
And the story that you are telling a story, right?
Yes.
You are not just, oh, here's the summit. Here's what happened. Here's my take. That's it. No, you are creating a story.
Yeah.
And in the end, I was, oh wait, it's not done. I want to see the end.
Right. I'm trying to do this. Right. I feel this. That's why I love YouTube. Right. It's just a platform that you can create. Right. And I wanted to share what it's like to go to the summit in my own manner. You and I have talked to this. It's like the podcast where we're doing this. We want to do things in our own way. And that was the whole thought in the video. And I have a bigger story, a much bigger story, and I'm not even going to tell you, Joe, as much as I love you, I'm not going to tell you what the story is behind it.
Don't
until
tell me.
I bring you in. Yeah, I want you to see it. So, but no, I think I appreciate that, and that's what it was. Right, I'm trying to like build on it, and I this is not some. This is and you're here, right? This is not your first UiPath MVP award, and so this is like a journey for you. It's part of your story. It's like chapters. It's not just a page, and so that's what I want this to be, right? And there'll be more events tying it into. Yeah, he does, right? No, I love like the community group. I love it. And I think that I just these videos, they won't make themselves. I'm passionate about this stuff, and I appreciate your feedback, Joe, as somebody who's a peer and somebody that I respect. I really appreciate that feedback coming from you. And I agree. I am an amateur and I'll stick by that 2000%. But having had a military career and now an automation career and now trying to kind of understand and work with the camera, like I'm excited about that journey. I'm excited. I'm happy to be a noob. I'm happy to like experience that, right? Experience the growth.
Man, and I can tell you that at least for me, it's kind of inspiring because in this podcast has already, planned some. I am already getting the fruits of the collecting. This is an expression in Portuguese, right? Collecting.
No, I love it. No, I love it.
So because, like, yes, I see. I might be. I might seem like you might see me as a extrovert person, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not. I'm not extrovert. Like I'm kind of. Let's hold on, right?
Yeah.
I don't talk that often, and I don't like to. Not at least the few years I've changed after the pandemic. I've changed a little bit.
Sure.
So I hold a lot of things to myself, and I don't like to post on social at all. I don't have social other than LinkedIn. And yesterday, I got an email from LinkedIn. Oh, it's 14 years.
Nice.
Being with us. So, and I thought, oh, this is a good thing to share. So then I shared, and while I was sharing, I was thinking, well, sharing this kind of thing wouldn't be a thing like before this podcast, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I am already exploring this side of sharing on public, right? Which I didn't have.
I get it completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, see, back to you. Like,
oh no,
your video, like, just let me know when you are releasing the next episode.
Definitely. And believe it or not, like, you're gonna be a part in it too, right? This is gonna be a longer story, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create some excitement, do something different, but more important, you said a word that like it struck a chord in my soul, right? And that just it was inspiration, right? And that's what I want to do. There's a lot of information and data out there for people about RPA, and there's so many people that will educate you about the tool. I want to be people, and I want to inspire people to just be in the field, right? I want to inspire them to kind of like do this kind of work, like you and I do. It's provided an opportunity for me and my family, right? And I'm sure it's done the same for you. And I think that people should consider it, right? And if it doesn't interest me, or I can't build the powerful piece of information or data and present it to somebody in a sit down and here, look at the code way, then I'm going to do it in this way. Right. And so that's what I did. And I appreciate your feedback. Like, and part of me is like, man, you shouldn't have said anything, because every time people say this, it's just like gas, man. It's like, just like fuel. And I'm stashing it, I'm getting pumped up. I'm like, dude, give me some more gas. Cause I don't like, I have so many more. I have such that concept in the orange case. Like, that's like this whole thing. If you've seen the movie Seven, what I'm saying, if you've seen Pulp Fiction, what I'm saying, what's in the box? If you've seen these movies, then like this is coming from something, and you got it. There's a story that's just starting, and I'm going to be a noob, and I'm going to wait and try to, build on it and deliver it. But I appreciate your feedback most of all.
Yeah, I'm still wondering, not so much what was in the box. I saw the orange box there, and I thought, okay, he's just holding the camera there, but what is in the box? But what struck me was when you got to that house, So, okay, what happened that,
Yes,
led
yes.
you to the house? Like, what happened there?
Oh, that's great. That's great. Perfect. Perfect. That's paid off. It's paid off. Oh, dude. See, Lance has got it too, right? I'm not gonna give any teasers, but he said my story is more like momentum, and this ties into that because that's the same. There's gaps in it, and there's Easter eggs. You'll look back and you'll be like, damn it, there's things in there, even though I'm amateur, right? There's things in there that mean something. But anyway, Joe, it's the top of the hour. I can't believe we went through a whole hour, dude. It feels like we just got on here. We have so much to do. We have so much ahead of us. I want to get first of all, we got to get our list, the people that we want to get on the show, right? We're just getting this momentum now. I have somebody working on this overlay, and so I'm going to have a custom one made just for you and I. And they're going to make us a little Bots and Beers logo and colors and all that. So this is just this is the staging area. We're going to build on this. But I want to make sure that we get that professional look. So when we get people like George, on here, that, it's polished.
But listen, what I can see on the stream today, it's very, very good. Like the way the aesthetics, it's awesome. And it's
Great.
just put a third camera there, right? We just need a third camera.
There we go.
Of course, the guest is going to be on the bigger screen.
Yep.
So we are going to be on the side. And that's it, man. We can talk to George. I would love to have him. He's an awesome guy. And can't wait to have this conversation with him, right?
Absolutely. I think we'll have a bunch of interesting people. I want to go full spectrum. I want to get people that are as seasoned and experienced as George. And then I want to go and grab some people who are just getting started and understand what their perspective is like, right? What is it like to be somebody who was a computer science graduate and you're coming out of college and now you're getting into the space, right? So I think.
I'm sorry.
No, you go. No, dude, you're excited. Go.
No, I wouldn't even go beyond tech knowledge and talk to folks outside, right? There's a guy that I met a few years ago, and this guy made a whole series, like a show, like a audio series. He made a story, like it's amazing. Like there's no video, right? It's just sounds, but it's kind of Star Trek story. So he has all the characters, and he and his friend, they made all the sounds, like all the voices, all the characters are just the two. Like sometimes there's a girl, his wife makes the girl voice.
Yeah.
But, man, this guy is like, his work is so mind blowing. He was on Apple podcast first time for a long time. But it's just such a great conversation. I would love to hear from him.
Yeah, I would love to too.
Right?
Yeah, no,
all
of course.
The sound effects, all the storytelling, everything, like the images, the show as a whole, like it's such an amazing accomplishment, right?
Yeah, no, I think so. We have to find people like that, right? I think that there's so many interesting stories, and I see this massive convergence of all different types of technology, in the utilization and how it comes together. So I can't wait to find out people who you're interested in, right? And I mean, there's people that I've seen, but I think the beauty of it is understanding how visions come together, right? How stories come together. And like you said, to start off this episode, how knowledge comes together, right? You could be that guy who doesn't want to share knowledge and say, hey, how'd you do it? Or you could be guys like me and you who are trying to share knowledge with everybody, right? And how do we share even more knowledge than what's in our brain? We go grab people who are experts and have done really cool shit in other areas, exactly. And we help them, bring their condensed information here. So I love it. So I had this thought too. I want to start cultivating the people that are here and supporting us, because even just seeing people in the chat, it pumps me up. And you came up with a good idea when we were talking 2 days ago, prepping for this session. And you said, hey, what if we offer a beer or some beers to people we have as guests on the show, like people that we were interviewing? And I thought that was a hell of an idea, right? I said, hey, why don't we do that, right? That would be a good like peace offering. And I thought, hey, after we hung up and you went back to work, I thought like, shit, why don't we do that for people that are watching our podcast? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start, I'm going to look up on the app, what is it? Uber Eats I think what Uber Eats killed DoorDash. I mean, not DoorDash, Drizzly. It was alcohol or drink service. So I'm still going to be able to do the calculation, and whatever it is to get a 12 pack, whatever that cost is to get a 12 pack delivered to somebody, I'm going to cash app that person from our chat, whoever's in here hanging out, and I'm going to give them free beers so they can enjoy it when we watch the post. Yeah, go ahead.
There has to be some context.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, we're gonna. I like it.
Oh, let's join the show and get a free
okay.
beer.
I like it.
Like we have to think this thoroughly, and then maybe the people online can help us out. How could we make this a fair win? Because we cannot afford to send beers to everybody, right?
Yeah, no, there's only one.
So how could this be a fair win?
Yeah, somebody in the chat said, you can't do that. He said, I live in the middle of nowhere. We'd have to send them horseback to Lance Bub. If we wanted to get beers to Lance Bub, apparently we got to do it horseback. Inviting all my friends to the neck to get free beer.
The British send beer to India, right? I think we can send beer to some.
There you go. If the British send beer to India and we can't send beer to Lance Bub in 2024, then we got a problem. Amazon's got drones, right? Our technology. So that's it.
If we can't send the beer, we send the gift card to buy the beer.
That's the thing. That's why I said Cash App, right? Because I can, if you want to use it on beer, some people might not drink, right? I just want to support everybody, right? So I'll send them the equivalent. I don't even have to send beer. So Lance, I don't have to get beer to your house. As long as you have a payment, like a Cash App, I'll send you cash and you can order your own beer. I'm just letting you know that I'll send you the equivalent of what it would cost to get beer delivered, right? Cell phones don't work here. I don't know if cell phones don't work here. I have no idea how you're watched right now. Maybe if
that's a good one.
I was gonna say if cell phones don't work, and if you have me on your TV in your living room, I'm gonna just send you a beer. Like I don't even know how you did that. He said Elon. Oh, he's got Starlink. Okay, that works. But Joe, any closing remarks, right? I'm seeing it in the chat. If anybody wants some beer, just chat. You don't have to you just say beer. Type beer in the chat. I see a Mo. I don't have 5,000 people here. The rolling of the dice will be simple. I got a Lance and a Mo in the chat. Anybody else want beer next episode? Just type beer. And one of you guys, if you show up next week, we'll get Cash App. He type beer. The Cash App equivalent of what it takes to get beer delivered. And then you can order your beer, you can order a burger. I don't care. But Joe, as I think about that, what closing thoughts or feelings do you have? What would you like to share?
I actually don't have a closing thought. I have a closing question.
Okay. I like
What's the point? What's the point of, moving your microphone all the time? Like you are always moving your microphone. Like I can hear you clearly all the time. Why do you move this microphone all the time? For a guy who starts picking up and taking apart a bookshelf, reads a book, and then says, wait, I have books over here. I don't even know why you'd ask me that question. Because I too have so it's not safe for work, so I can't explain what it's like to have this big thing like in front of your face. And I just gotta kind of keep moving it. I just adjust it. And that's all I do. It's like a habit. I have to fidget. Are you the kind of person who walks around when you're talking on the phone, or do you sit down? I rather sit down.
Dude, I can't. When I'm on the phone, even if I'm on a Teams call and I'm on my phone for the Teams call, and I'm like, I'll be walking around the house. I'll walking around the hotel room if I'm on travel and I'm on I can't. So when you see me doing this and I'm grabbing, I'm yanking, I'm all that, it's literally just me being Joe, ADHD, and I'm fidgeting. That's all it is.
Okay, so get rid of the microphone stand and just get a headset. Then your hands are free.
Could do that. I'll consider it.
Or maybe a stereo stand, like something that you put on your table. There's no moving, because this is one of the things that I found, right? You have to get rid of the distractions, right? Otherwise, you're going to get distracted.
Yeah.
That's why I told you I like Windows, but not in my office, right? Otherwise, I get distracted. Like, man, I am in my new house, so my kitchen has has a door to the backyard. There's no fence in the backyard right now, so there's some. It's not woods, but there's some like pretty tall weeds, right? I see the rabbits going here and there. I see squirrels. I see birds.
Okay.
I put a bird feeder, so they are all there. If I sit looking towards the backyard, I cannot work because there will be some animal like all the time.
Nice.
I have to watch them, so it's hard for me, right? So I either sit back, to my, facing the other side, or I close the window because it's distraction.
I was speaking of distractions. I was distracted because in the chat, someone just bought 2 goats and they were in the backyard. So I kind of like, you're talking about backyard. He said there were 2 goats in his backyard because he just bought them. I bought 2
goats. I like goats. They taste very well.
Maybe it's the long day, or maybe it's this, the sip it margarita that my wife bought, but I'm feeling it. But bro, hey, I want to keep honest to the people out there, right? We'll keep it a buck. I know that you and we don't want to drive over, keep it under 90. Joe, I love these podcasts. Our goal is to continue to make these things better. I think we've done that this week. Little baby steps. I'm not a rocket ship. I'm a freight train, right? I need, it takes momentum. I feel we're building it. I don't need the quick blast off. You see it in the video, you'll see it here, but I'll get there, right? So I appreciate you, Joe. I love having these conversations with you. I can't wait to continue to listen to your feedback, make these things better, and keep this train rolling.
Exactly, man. I am. See, the more we talk, the more I see how alike we are, because I am on the same boat. And
boat, no pun intended. Sorry, that's going to be a thing, man. Why did they do that? Gardner, why did you do that? Come on, man. Boat, for real.
Yeah, we're going to need a bigger boat.
Stop.
But seriously, like when I hear you, like, I just think, yes, that's the thing, right?
Yep.
I'm not trying to shoot the moon,
yep.
Right?
Yep.
But
love it.
I just like to do this the way we are doing, and what we're seeing today. It's a damn improvement.
There we go.
From my humble perspective, like just having the scenes and just having some sort of structure when talking, like this is so awesome. So yeah, let's keep it up.
Nice.
Keep the momentum, doing every week, and just and
I promise I'll quit messing with this microphone eventually. So, but beautiful, man. Hey, we'll keep it rolling. Again, Dub Podcast. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate it. We got a couple of guys who chimed in on the chat. Next week, Cash App, if you're here, showing up, only Lance, Bub, and Mo. Those are our 2. It's going to be 50-50. One of you guys got some free beer next week. So, Joe, I can't wait for next episode. Your background looks amazing. You're competing with me. I'm going to have to go find some more lights and make it cool. But hey, best wishes. I hope you and your family have a wonderful weekend, sir. And I can't wait to do this again.
Thank you so
All right, later, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Beers, it's the beers. Later, brother.
I'll see you, man.
All right. All right, Mr. Analyst. I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. That's my son, Evan, is our media analyst. He's killing it. Thank you so much for helping switch through those scenes, keep people. Beer is super expensive around me. He said about $100 a can. $100 a can, but holy Jesus. Well, hey, you're going to have one can of beer if you show up next episode. Give me the countdown, brother. Here we go. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you next